Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Age of Empires 4 replay. Spawn on the top right side as the magenta British forces, or English I should say. We have Bodia. Spawn on the left side as the Cyan Delhi Sultanate. We have Alayin, Yin. I can't speak today, nor am I probably pronouncing it correctly. Early Mosque. And we do also have the... Is that dropping frame rates? Nope, I'm not dropping in frame rate. Good. Of course, we got the lumberyard, we got the workhouse going on up. We do have looks like a early mining camp over here, as well as some houses, of course. Looks like the sheep are being collected first. Are the sheep invisible? Yeah. Okay, there's more sheep right there. It's just been one carcass right there. Sheep are being collected up right over there. Over here, it's got more sheep being collected up. But yeah, I have the camera controls mapped to my air WSD. I probably should use that a little bit more. This UI seems a little bit large for caster mode. I don't know why, it just seems a little bit too much. I think this top bar is perhaps a little bit too thick. But either way, what's it going for the Dome of Fate versus the Council Hall? Council Hall is the archery range one, so it's able to get the longbowmen deployed from there. And over here you have the Dome of Fate, religious landmark. Scout going on forward, scouting around. As one scout's pushing forward. The Dome of Fate does deploy out amongst himself, so he's able to get out both of these. It looks like scouts are going to be pursuing each other. I think Cyan is going a bit better right there. We do have 84 health to 95 health. Yep, Cyan is going to win if they stand and fight against each other. And now we do got a horseman now deployed on the field, which will easily make it an easy win for Cyan. Looks like they're going to be running up that hillside or cliffside. There is some reversible terrain right there. I did not realize it's traversable terrain right there. And it's going to be trying to run all the way back on home. Getting out some longbowmen. They do have access to the palings there to stop the cavalry from charging them. Or damage them as they charge them. Mix of both, really. Cavalry is stunned and takes 25 damage. We do have a doggy trying to eat some of these horses. Doggy is still alive, but wounded though, and the dog will go down, the wolf. Now we do have a big wave of longbowmen advancing forward in the center of the map with one spearman advancing forward with them. Of course, you will need monks in order to capture these sacred sites, though his opponent does have access to religious sites such as the mosque and the Dome of Fate. You can get out some monks now, or scholars I should say. Looks like the scout and the longbowmen are making their advance. Over here, we got the horse and spearmen. They could perhaps try to close in some of these individual longbowmen. It does take a bit of time to place down those spikes, the palings. And now the blacksmith is under siege, trying to go for the melee weapons and the arrow weapons, or arrow damage. Longbowmen engaging against the archer. Longbowmen, of course, have one extra range compared to archers, and Duke's got some defensive spearmen as well. You could potentially place down the palings over here, but he's going to Q move them to the far side to hit these lumberjacks. Cyan's making his advance. Got magentas falling on back as well. Does use those spearmen to engage. The spearmen do go down to the archers, and the horsemen will be overrunning the longbowmen. Magenta will likely lose his force, just a bit too much force here by Cyan. But Magenta has more force here as well. These are spearmen. He can place out the palings at the longbowmen. Might as well. He knows his opponent's probably going to charge him after his previous engagement. These guys are reviewed. And Magenta or Cyan's going to be his counterattack now. There's a small force here. Enemies has captured Southern Sacred Site, which does give him some bit of extra gold. Also a relic on the high ground as well, which will be very useful. A lot of high ground for a good ritual there. Spearmen are trying to get some engagements there onto the horsemen. There's 2 scouts and 3 horsemen. He perhaps could place down some palings down over here, help choke up the cavalry in advance. Also got a single longbowman on the high ground as well. Looks like Scion's going for another holy site capture, trying to get, maybe going for an early relic or sacred site victory. And looks like he's going to push forward, trying to place down some walls there with his infantry. Very nice. And that is a complete wall off. There's not a whole lot of traversable terrain right there, and that will wall off that sector or region, not necessarily a sector. Magenta is advancing forward. Regular forces can decapture a sacred site, they just won't be able to fully capture it. Up north, we do have the Scholar capturing that northern area. Longbowmen start firing away. No palings have been deployed on out. These are good damage right there. Little cavalrymen are going down to do a good focus fire there by Magenta. Cyan's now starting to focus fire as well. Does have a lot of his own archers as well. Because he does have +1 pierce armor, which is very good. All 3 sacred sites are captured up by Cyan. Sacred victory will be complete in 9 minutes 45 seconds. Magenda's backing on off, but Cyan's just been able to maintain a large force here. Trying to stutter step away, but of course he's just outnumbered entirely. Over here we do have the single horseman there engaging the longbowmen. He needs to make sure his forces get grouped up and not sent in one at a time. Spearmen are engaging the horsemen now, as Magenta's bowmen are engaging Cyan's bowmen one at a time. Horsemen, one does get finished off right there. Another good volley there on the Cyan horsemen. Magenta will need to start pushing forward towards these sacred sites sooner rather than later. And looks like we do have just more production coming on out, more longbowmen, more spearmen. Looks like Cyan's going for more archers, more scholars, and more horsemen. We take a quick look at everybody's resources. Cyan has a big reserve of food. He may be eyeing to age up, while his opponent does not have a whole lot of resources at the moment. Trying to decapture central sacred site, that's all he needs to do, just decapture one. Magenta or Cyan does also have good gold generation from the sacred sites as well. Cyan just regrouping force, he's not really keen on contesting the sacred site at the moment. Just want to make sure he wins the fights. Up north we do have, let's get a wave of palisade walls being deployed on out by Cyan. Just trying to help secure the flanks. He could actually trade with this village as well. And Cyan is contesting the sacred site at the last moment, does manage to stop it from being decaptured. All of his horsemen are down, barring this now fresh one. It will too be focused down quite quickly. Magenta's trying to advance forward, but Cyan just have superior number of forces. Been taking good engagement over and over again. But 12 longbowmen here versus 21 for Cyan. If Cyan's going to just try to wall off his opponent, he's just trying to stall his opponent and may get the sacred site victory. He's going for a kill. Or, not necessarily a kill. Cyan does find an opening there. Looks like these walls are not fully built off there, so Cyan's going to try to recapture this point now. Cyan's slowly decapturing this point here. And it looks like Magenta's going to make his way forward. We do have a handful of villagers being pulled on the front line. He must be... Villagers seem like a little bit unusual option at this point in time. Magenta does get interrupted here, and the second site will be re-secured. He's trying to dance around, but I say just scientists should just keep one guy on the point, just make sure it doesn't go down. The other one can chase around. It will win if given enough time. Now, we do have a guard tower being put on right there. This will give him a good defensive forward advantage. Though it... Oh yeah, it also... the English gains a passive from having fighting nearby a tower. And now these guys do get a passive effect. I forget what it was exactly. It's like increased rate of fire and increased damage being near it. Or +1 range, maybe. Either way, it just gives them a nice little aura effect there. Multiple sacred sites are being neutralized. 19 longbowmen are advancing forward. Science backing out the far side of town. We got the town center loaded on up with these archers. They will fire a good amount of volley or arrows in defense. One sacred site has been decaptured, the northern one. The southern one is being decaptured now. And the middle one could be decaptured as well. You got a handful of villagers here. Yep, he's decapturing it now. It could potentially take time to upgrade this tower, but of course it costs a bit of stone. Stone is valuable. Got a pair of mangonels being deployed on out. And the central site has been decaptured. Pair of defensive archers here to prevent that wall from being burnt down. The wall is complete up north and down south. And this horseman will be taken out by a lancer. Now do you have... That was the Wonder landmark, wasn't it? It does cancel it. Yep, defensive landmark tower. Now, and he's going to use a superior range effect there to engage these forces as they're trying to burn down structures. And these structures are not exactly very valuable, are they? Right now, Magenta does have a good villager advantage, 65 to 52. He's been doing a good job at that. But now we've got mangonels put out on the field. Mangonels, of course, very good. That carcass there shouldn't interrupt any movement. If it does, this will be sort of stupid. It's not actually built there. This guy actually at the northern sacred site now. He's going to try to go for the sacred site of victory again. He still has a good field control of these leftover walls. The central sacred site has been captured. The northern one is being captured up now. The southern one has not been touched just yet. Just some relics on the high ground. And now we do have some man-at-arms supporting out. Defensive tower. Oh, was he building his own wall right there? I think he may have been building his own wall there. But the defensive landmark has been put out. That does give him a good aura benefit from nearby. Down south, the southern sacred site is being captured. Over here, looks like the single lance are now harassing these villagers. When I say harassing, I mean actually killing them. These mangonels will provide a serious threat to those longbowmen. Lancer does have some good pierce armor, 6 pierce armor, while the bowmen have what? Attack 7, so that means they'll do 1 damage. Yeah, it looks like they'll do 1 damage per arrow against the Lancer. All sacred sites have been captured on up. We even got a spring gold here. Both players are at castle age right now. He's going to try to go for a 4-tower outpost tower there for his aura passive. Man-at-arms in the mix as well for front line. Stringall's now firing away. Mangonels firing. Will be annihilating the man-at-arms as they get into range. And starts still trying to charge forward, but the archer should be finished them off. Magenta does have the loose formation there to avoid the Mangonel fire, which is very good. Mangonels, of course, very good for the infantry. More rounds hitting these long going is still splashing out multiple of them. Man-at-arms are getting some good hits on end. It looks like going uncontested as Cyan archers getting some good damage as well. Magenta looks unable to win this engagement and back down 14 units versus opponents of 56. That was a horrendous engagement for Magenta, wasn't it? He spent a lot of time running around. And the Mangonels did a great job in just doing good damage. Looks like Magenta's going to be breaching up north to decapture this northern central side. The Skull does not have a relic, so can be killed off, no problem. Keep one unit next to Sacred Site. You can't be really gambling it. Because right now, his opponent will respond in time. Spearman's going to get ripped apart by these archers as well. There's some wolves. He petted the wolf with some arrows. And Magenta does not have a whole lot of force deployed out in the field, nor is a lot being queued up. Looks like he's going for nothing additional now. One additional, well, it says crossbowman, but it's definitely a longbowman upgrade. Oh no, he does have crossbowman, never mind. Crossbowman, of course, the infantry. The White Tower is now receiving some siege and counter damage from the counterweight trebuchet. Magenta's going to be trying to breach his way down south. He does have a couple villagers support him as well to get out a watchtower. Magenta has still got a Mangonel now available. White Tower is still receiving some additional fire. Still got a good number of Mangonels and Springgalds for Magenta. Not Magenta, Cyan. Now we've got a wave of stone walls being deployed out by Magenta. He can't really be forward to go defensive. His opponent's almost got the Sacred Site victory in hand. He's still trying to break through this southern wooden wall. He has a group of his force and attack one site or hit 2 sites at once. And his opponent's going for a keep in the right next to this Sacred Site. These villagers will not be able to decapture that Sacred Site as long as that keep is there. So the wall segments have gone down now. Up north, we've got... Oh, that is a great spot for the Mangonels. Very cinematic as well. On the high ground. And now that breach is closed, I think Magenta has lost. He probably is not able to decapture a point in a little less than 6 minutes. Because right now, this area is going to be protected by Mangonels. That's going to report all those infantry units. We do also have up north, of course, that keep, which will prevent any sort of single harassment. It's going to need a sizable force to deal with the keep. And in the middle, apparently that keep can also only build scouts. Hey, I must be mistaken. No. And in the middle, there's not a whole lot there for defense, but the siege units can transition between this location and this location here. And Cyan has claimed this hill on the high ground there, and even has a palisade gate to help prevent it from going anywhere. Power elephants on the field. Trebuchet is now even sieging down some of these stone walls. Magenta's trying to charge on forward. Cyan has left this area open. He does have a couple lancers here to help maintain the Sacred Site. But once his siege gets in range, Magenta can rip apart Cyan's, or Cyan can rip apart Magenta's force. Trying to go for another keep right here. Trying to build up in combat. Second site's being decaptured, but now it will be paused. He does have a good number of archers here for defense. The village is being focused down, but it's actually decent for Cyan because he has a huge military now going attacking uncontested. Which means he will win the secret site victory quite easily. Sure, he may lose some villagers, but if he wins the game, he wins the game. So the siege is starting to get bashed down by the man-at-arms. Cyan's going for another keep right here. His opponent, if he gets a keep up, then his opponent really won't be able to do much versus it. He doesn't have trebuchets, doesn't have anything to gauge siege, nor even an escort army. He's losing forces quickly. He's trying to go for bringing some villagers now, and now the keep is fully built. Still got the trebuchets firing away, has taken down the castle, so now Cyan infantry can storm the broken wall segments and use it as a firing platform for his archers. I'm not sure what Cyan's going to plan to do. He's building no military at the moment. And Cyan has a big reserve of resources, a lot of wood, a lot of gold. I had a bit of stone there. Let's see, upgrading it maybe with something. I'm not sure what's going on with the resources at least. Magenta's going for rebuilding those walls. Down south, we do have the villagers advancing forward, and we find another keep there. These villagers will not be stay around this keep for too long. Secret site has some forces on top of it, and Cyan's just going to camp the secret sites of these keeps. North, looks like got some villager, man-at-arms, longbowmen, and some crossbowmen, which they won't accomplish all too much. Got another keep up here. He has 3 minutes to decapture a victory point. I'm not sure what these villagers are trying to do. He may be trying to proxy some battering rams and then engage the city. That's my guess. Time to break down this palisade gate. Palisade gate will go down, no problem. The villagers even trying to start sieging down the building. We do got these villagers do. The English villagers do have bows and arrows, and now the villagers here are getting forced back, but that doesn't stop the victory point from being Sacred Site's victory. Charge forward this infantry. You could try quickly spawning out a villager or a scout. Those are going to take 20 seconds. You may get the decap from this point, actually. And now Cyan is advancing forward with multiple outposts into his opponent's town. Magenta is also advanced forward into the central sacred site. He's just going to hold ground and eat the fire. Got a Marsara technology building. The northern sacred site has been protected by Cyan forces. So that area is secure. The central one will be decaptured. He did not pull off the villagers over here. Looks like Cyan has forced back or killed off the villagers attacking the central stone town. Tower elephants is getting tied up and can't get past the Mangonel. Mangonel getting a great hit there. Man-at-arms going to try to engage, but they're all going to see some crossbow fire, and now Cyan's archer force is engaging from the high ground as well. Oh, here looks like more villagers getting through and now dying. And Magenta's force will get cleaned on up, and now Cyan's going to advance forward with some siege into the breach that he may have recreated. Looks like this elephant is bashing his head against that outpost. Magenta has a small defensive force here. Cyan has a pretty sizable siege army. Trebuchet is pushing way forward, or Mangonels. Trebuchet is trying to hit some structures. I'm not sure which structure. Maybe the archer ranges. And the Magician's going to be advancing forward. Do have a Tower Elephant here. Now we're seeing some fire from various forces. Crossbow can pierce his armor, no problem. Man-at-Arms are breaking through. Man-at-Arms, of course, have good armor. Sacred Sights have been catching up with Cyan. Got 10 minutes before he wins the game. And Cyan's starting to whittle away his opponent's force. The Mangonels, or no, he has not a whole lot of Mangonels remain, just mostly Spring Balls. The Trebuchets are still getting hits on this very structure. Couple of ranges did go down. This went to the high ground, very good. But Cyan's able to get up that high ground thanks to this destroyed walls. Good to see on those forces are getting quite wounded on top of that wall segment. Mangonels and Agent Empire's 4 does not do friendly fire damage, unlike Agent Empire's 2. And Cyan has broken through the front line. Magenta does not have much army remaining. And I think Magenta has backed out of the game. Yep, likely Magenta has backed out of the game. This is Android saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay.